Right, okay, so you'll see that I've done some of the ear. I actually thought I was recording. I had recorded and it stopped, so I'll go over now with what I was actually doing, so that you can catch up. I do apologise. So we had the different, you can see on the reference photo you've got all the different directions that the fur is going in. So what I've done is, because we're just working around here, we've got like you've got like all the base colour there. So what we're using is the terracotta, which is like an orangey brown, and what we're doing is adding it bits there. Then you've got the bit there, and that's got a ridge to it. I do apologise that, you know, this has happened. And then what we've done is, so we started off with this as the base colour, laying it all down. So just make sure you go with the direction of the fur in the ear, like so. Then and then that way as well. And then you've got the bit at the top here, and then you've got the bits that are wisping up over here. So then what I've done is I've carried on all the way around here like that. So when you do your layers, just make sure you build it up lightly. Lifted out any pigment. If you find that the line art's too dark and you've got a putty rubber, well, a kneadable eraser, sorry, it's not putty, I used to have a putty one, then you can just dab it out to lift up a layer of it, and then just keep following it around. Now, if you're struggling to follow it from the instructions, because of like I'm showing you with most of the base layer down, the same method will be used for that ear. So if you find that you're struggling with this part, you can use the tutorial for that ear on both of them, but I will show you the best as I can on here. So I do apologise. Technology, sometimes it works very well, other times it really is out to get you. Right, okay, so we want the top part here to be more of a vibrant-y colour. When you're going around and doing the terracotta, just leave the edge slightly so you can go around and doing it with the black, and then around like that. So just follow the direction of the ear. So when you get to about there, it changes direction and goes that way. So we're just going to do very lightly on this part, because it's quite pale, because it's got the light behind it. And then we're just going, so there we go. If I show you how to lift out the pigment for this part, it just makes it slight, you can still see it, but it makes it slightly lighter. And just make sure that you follow the direction of the fur, like so. Okay, so, and we're just doing around the base of the ear like this. Right, and then going that way. So again, just keep paying attention to the direction of the fur. Okay, so we've got the orange in, or the terracotta. Then I used the polychromos brown ochre. So if you've got a very light brown in your set of pencils, then that's fine as well. And then just follow the direction of the fur in the ear there. because we're just using base colours. I'm just going to try and define this a bit more, because I am going to use the subtraction technique. Okay, and then this isn't standing out too much here at the moment, but it will do. And then there as well. So it's looking a bit jumbled at the moment, but it will, once we put all of the detail in, it will show up. And then, so basically it just adds a different depth and warmth to the fur. So just look at the direction of this part. You can you can see that, you know, it's going over that way. Yeah, then I added the raw umber polychromos, again slightly darker shade of brown than the one we've got, and I went over it again slightly. This one more tonal values in here, and then up there, and then across there as well. Like I said, you'll be able to follow it better if you can't follow it from here. It'll work just the same, like that. So that's what I did for that. Then I use Nougat polychromos, again another slightly darker shade of brown, and I used that bit for in there. And just to define it a bit more. And then just pay attention to where you're adding the dark bit, because you don't need to add it towards the, you know, the lighter areas, and it's going to go in there as well. And then, because we're going to be bringing it underneath that bit, because that part is going to go over, so we need to bring this bit under. Okay, so that's how that works. And then what we did then is, because you've got underneath the fur, the wispy bits of fur, you've got the depth of the inner ear. So I started off with using this same shade of brown to go under, and then to make sure, because you've also got, it's quite wispy around here like that, but we're going to use the subtraction technique on that part so that you can see it better. Then what you need to do, because some areas are really quite dark, so like this part for instance is black because it's quite dark, and then you've got this part is quite dark, so we've done that bit so you can see it's quite defined, that part, isn't it? And then there, like that. Okay, and then we've got a darker bit there and there, and then we want to sort of go and try and define bits through there. So you can see some of the wispy bits, but we're going to define that a bit more in a moment. Then we've got some other dark bits of, really deep bits of black there. Let's just quickly go over that a bit more, and that. It's very, very lightly. Okay, and then because this part isn't as deep because it's got the fur involved with it. I've used a Faber-Castell dark indigo, but if you don't have that, then you can use like a dark blue. And okay, right. So that's sort of the base colour. So with this, it's best to sort of go like that, because you've got like the dark is behind the light, and okay, you want to sort of show wisps of the fur, and just remember it doesn't actually go down all the way, so it's about there. Okay, right. So what I'm going to do now, I mean, hopefully you would have caught up. As I said, you know, technology is pain. Just make sure, if you're going to use a Tombow eraser, just make sure the end's clean. If not, just rub it against something just to make sure it's all clean. If you haven't got one of these, then you can use a normal eraser. Make sure it's clean. But the eraser that's actually in your subscription box, you can use one of the sharp edges of that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the inner ear, and I'm going to, there we go. So whilst I'm actually just doing that in the direction of the fur, it's you can see it like so. Okay. And then what we can do is then go in and add more pigment under that, see, so you can see the wisps of it using an eraser like that. Now if you've got small children, well, not small children, but you know, younger children, then you can do that bit for them, and then they can carry on adding the colour afterwards. Okay, so that you can see in that part. Okay, so we've added that. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a bit more of the dark colour now, just to define it. Actually, I need to add that bit there. That's it. See that now that we've added all the pigment, you can see that when we do the subtraction technique, you can see the colours underneath it, and then we can just go up underneath and then darken it. And then just make sure this bit by the ear is darker. So we've got that added. What I want to do is add the dark under here. And along there. So again, we're going up and under. Sorry about this. So my notifications going off. I must remember to turn all that off. Okay, so then I want to do subtraction technique on that. Right. Okay. Right. So I'm just going to use the same light brown, the raw umber, and just going to add a bit of definition to it. Right, still want to try and define it. Let me just need to do that. Just make sure you clean the end of it. And so these are very cheap. You can also get refills. I got this one off of Amazon, but they do them on all other websites as well. I got this one on Amazon because it came the next day, and I couldn't wait. So just going to use a bit of black on there, very light. And I just want to add the brown ochre. Like that. So if we were using a different surface of paper, then I would probably use a slice tool, but which would work better on, like, for instance, on drafting film and also pastel mat, but I like it on drafting film. And one of the subscription box months, I'll show you the tutorial on drafting film. It's yeah, it's really good. I really like it. It's one of my favourite surfaces, but I try and mix it up as often as I can, because otherwise you can get too comfortable on one surface, and it's good to keep the skills up. Okay, so let's make sure you're going underneath like that, because we just want to define it. Just make sure you go in the opposite direction, so you're going from left to right on this one, so it looks like you're going up, and just make sure it's darker. And I want to use the dark indigo up here, because it just, where the hair's, or sorry, the fur is thinner, it doesn't look so dark, and on the picture it just doesn't look as dark as the black does. Right, this is the Nougat. So again, it's another shade of lightish brown, and I just want to, you know, make sure that things are just stood out a lot more with some of the lighter fur. So it does add a lot to the shape of the ear. Actually, I want to when you do the subtraction technique, because it gives the opportunity to go in and add texture to it. Right, you've got a paintbrush there to wipe, to get rid of all of the excess pigment, but I'm not sure where I've put it. Oh no, there it is. There. And if there's anything that's smudges onto the outside, then we can always use the kneadable razor to get rid of it. Okay, so I am going to use this again for this part. Just very small strokes, because you don't want to get rid of too much, and it needs to be controlled. Okay, so just keep an eye on the direction of this part, because around about here it changes the direction. Okay, I want to use let's have a look. I'm going to use the Luminance Sepia 50%. So it is quite a creamy texture, but again, you can use any of the darker browns in your pack, just to define some of these, where you've got the lighter ones. This makes it stand out. And also, because you can see where it's darker under the fur that's in front of it. So for instance, when we do this bit, we're going to use the subtraction technique, and then we can go in as well with this and darken it. So you'll find that we end up doing quite a lot of subtraction and then adding. So again, there we've got a bit there where we need to define it. Oh, keep knocking that camera. And because we've done under here, just want to define the fur a bit around here. Like that. Okay, and then so then that bit there goes around like that. And this is one of my favourite Luminance pencils. It's so good on fur. And then around this area, you can put some more in, just following the direction of the fur. Oh. I'm just going to try the Luminance terracotta. Again, you can carry on and use the one that you've got in your pack if you haven't got one of these. I just want to try and make sure because it's a different texture than the polychromos, these are creamier. So it's good to use the polychromos for the base layers and then these for the top layers. I just want to make sure I've got enough ready brown in it. So I don't want to do all of these in that colour because the ends of these are they're light. And see, look how lovely and rich that is on top of that polychromos terracotta. It's more, because it's creamy, it's coming out richer. These are lovely, these pencils. You can buy these individually, same as the polychromos from Art Discount, which are really, really good value prices. They're individually, they're slightly more expensive than the polychromos, but they're still affordable. And again, I just only buy what I need. Okay, so we need to do that. That needs to be done again. I think we're almost finished for this part. And then right. Just need to do a bit more up the top, I think, as well, and then we can finish this part until the end. Okay, right. Just want to put that one in. And see if I can get this to show up a bit better. And what I really want to do is to make sure I get the Derwent Drawing Ivory Black. Again, you can get these individually as well, and just try and make the black blacker. If not, just use another black from your set and just keep going over doing layers. Because when you this Derwent Drawing is another one of my favourites. Right, I just want to make this darker. So that all of the other bits and pieces stand out. Look how vibrant that is. Gorgeous. And what we'll do is, once we've got the rest of the colours down for the rest of the fox, then we can always go through and make any colour adjustments just in case. on that. So I want to make one final adjustment and just make sure, actually add 2 more colours. Oh. Actually I need to do that bit again. Because then that shows the edge of the ear. And then we need to show it roughly the same as that, but obviously this one it spills onto the edge. And this one is a bit more flatter, so we are going to go around and what do we want? We want, yeah, the warmer 40% of the luminance, so like another really pale, like a brownie beigey colour. I can just get a bit dark on that bit. I just want to do that. And I think just to define these darker bits in here. Just very lightly here. So I think, that is that for the moment, I think. Oh, no, there's always a bit of tweaking going on. And just want to define that a bit more. And again, as if it's, see, it looks a bit sort of like separate from the rest of it, but you'll be able to see what it looks like. I mean, I'm really pleased with that. You'll be able to see how it fits in when we do this bit next time round. But anyway, apologies for the issue with the tech, but as I said, you can, if you can't quite get it from this part that I've shown you, then you can use the tutorial for that ear and use it the exact same method for that one. So yeah, but I'll see you next time for to fill in this part of it. Okay, thank you for watching.